Hello students, welcome back to Cloud 6 365 and today's topic is very important one, and here I'm going to discuss about DevOps engineer and why DevOps engineers are in so much demand. So what DevOps engineer is, what DevOps engineer do, and why DevOps are in so much demand. So these three core and important topics I will cover in this short session. So when we talk about DevOps engineer, he should have all these skills that I have mentioned here, and let's discuss these one by one. So first of all, what DevOps engineer is. So DevOps, that actually is a combination of developers and operations engineer. So that means altogether we are talking about an IT infrastructure and software professional who actually know about both of these two skills. But when we simply explain about DevOps, then it is an IT infrastructure and software development enabled methodology, or we can say it is an approach that help to bridge the gap between traditional way of working where developers used to work in separate teams and operational teams used to work in different teams. So like there was always a kind of gap because developers were developing softwares and then ops engineers were looking into the infrastructure issues. But now time has changed, and DevOps engineer has skills. He or she also understand the development practices, how development is being done, what software development life cycle is, and also he has skills on operations. Like that means he know or she know about infrastructure components, what CI/CD is, and this ideology came into existence in early 2008, and it started blooming by 2010, and we call it agile way of working, where this name was first time recited, and now I will just take a bit more deep dive into it. So if we talk about roles of DevOps engineer, then DevOps engineer has to perform some very common but important tasks in his day-to-day activities. So like for example, let's say in telecom industry this can be demand can be little different, in banking domain this can be different, in aviation industry this can be altogether absolutely different, but however still the core skills remain same. So that means DevOps engineer should be good team player. He should know how to work within a big team, very nice and effective communication, at least one operating system administration skills, be it Linux, be it Windows operating system or Unix operating system. He or she should know about automation, because automation, when we are talking about DevOps, then without automation, it's really worthless to mention. So automation is definitely another important trait of a DevOps engineer. And then coding and scripting, of course, because if you do automation, you really need to know coding and scripting. Taking one further step now, what DevOps engineer do? So basically, any DevOps engineer should have fairly nice understanding about infrastructure, about system administration, what IT infrastructure is, what operating system is, how it works, what are disk, what are network interface cards, what is networking, all those system administration skills DevOps engineer should know. He should have practical hands-on on all the basic operations that are being performed on this system administration. This can be Linux system, or this can be Windows system, or it can be any AIX, AUX system, but he or she should have really good knowledge about DevOps tool, programming, automation, and containerization. So now we will discuss bit more in my next slide. So when we talk about the work that is being done by a DevOps engineer, that really makes DevOps engineers very high in demand. Why? Because he has those multi skills. So if you take a look here, I have just listed few of very important skills as I discussed in my previous slide as well, like Linux administration, for example. I'm just taking here example of Linux administration, then Ansible, which is actually a very nice tool to do automation, to have execution of various required script and processes across infrastructure, across servers, across network devices, and very helpful for CI/CD automation. Then Azure DevOps is the tool that is being used at present, and it's really used very widely. That again provide the facility or enable DevOps engineer to automate the CI/CD automation pipelines. Like for example, if you have to deploy anything, a piece of code to your development environments, to your acceptance environments, to your production environments, then Azure DevOps is the best tool here that can be used. So it's nice to have knowledge about it. Then in my previous slide, I had used a word containerization. So, however, containerization is not in the scope of this short tutorial, but like I just want to give a name of two very common containers which are in the market at the moment. One is Podman and one is Docker. Podman is Red Hat open source tool, and Docker is also open source tool used to create the containers. Then shell scripting, of course. So for automation, for system small task or big task or complicated task within the Linux systems or Unix systems or Windows system you want to do, you really need to know the scripting, or in Linux Unix we call this shell scripting. And Python's hand-on is also the one that is desired. So this was a very quick overview about the DevOps engineer, and the reason why DevOps engineers are in demand, because they are really well versed with the different tools, and I have given examples here. And that is why DevOps engineer is standing, with some excellence when there are many candidates in the market, because he knows lot many things. So I hope you liked the overview of a DevOps engineer, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate to write in the comment box, and I will get back to you. I hope you enjoyed my this short tutorial. Do like and subscribe my channel, and see you in my next series. Thank you.